It's 2026 and all I'm saying to myself is that it's time to get unstuck. Okay, 2025, we progressed, we started a lot, and now it's time to execute on what we started, what we planned, what we created ideas on. So 2026 is that year. It's gonna be a life-changing year. I am speaking it into existence. For me, that means becoming unstuck. You know, we've been in the same position for years. What are you gonna do to change that now? Are you too comfortable? Real question, are you too comfortable? Do you need to get uncomfortable so that you can grow? So let's talk about it. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about setting goals and intentions for the year. Screw the vision board, respectfully, set goals. Make a system to progress towards your goals. But ultimately, you have to have clarity and direction on where you want to go and how you're going to get there. If you have at least three goals, you're bound to achieve at least one. So minimum, set 3. Achieve at least 1. It's going to be a successful year, and I want to help you get your foot in the door of that success or through the window. Okay, so let's go and talk about how we set these intentions and execute on our goals.
Hey, I'm Ashlyn and I'm new to YouTube and content creation in general. I decided to start this channel to encourage others to follow their dreams and to build a community of aspiring entrepreneurs to hold each other accountable and bring hope into each other's lives. I've tried to start my own businesses a couple times, fell short a couple times, and I'm still trying to fulfill my long-term dream of successful business ownership.
B-roll, you know.
But we don't lose, we either learn or we win. And I wanted this channel to serve as a business diary of my journey and show you a bit of my life. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope this is in some way helpful or valuable to you. Let's build our dreams.
Welcome to my creative corner. The first statement that I'll start with is that goals set the direction, but systems determine your progress. So when you're planning for the year ahead, obviously you're going to think of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. But sometimes we fail to think about how we're going to accomplish that, how we're going to get to that end goal. So you can plan the goal. You can make the vision board and you can put the final goal on there. But it's the little unsexy habits and tasks that you build into a system that's going to get you to eventually achieve that goal. When I am reflecting over the year in the past and planning for what's ahead, I start by writing a basic journal entry of how the past year went. I tell my journal how I'm feeling, what did I accomplish, what could I have done better, what did I do great, and where I am at in this point of life. That way, I have this one pager that I can read back on year over year and see my progress and where I've led up to this point. And it helps refine your path and what you need to do for the year ahead to get closer to where you see yourself in the next 5 years, for example. So the first thing I want you to define this year is what's happening, what's going on in your life, what are you expecting to happen in the year ahead. Define what matters in this next year, what's going to matter for you, and it's going to be different for everyone. So it's really it's a personal question. What's happening next year and what matters to you? And from there, we're going to pull a theme of the year for you. After you answer those, you can start to see a common theme. For example, I'll give you an example. Last year, my theme was progress over perfection, because a lot of what I wrote down in my journal was about tapping back into the entrepreneurial side of me, tapping back into my interests, and starting to find what I like again outside of the daily habits in my daily routine. I know that I can be a perfectionist, and so having the theme of progress over perfection throughout the year in my mind helped me repeat that phrase and know that it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is progress. So I started a lot last year. I got clarity on my ideas and what I wanted to do in the year ahead. So I started, like I said, I started a few things last year. And so this year, my theme is discipline over motivation, consistency, building atomic habits, so that now with those things that I started last year, I can build discipline again and consistent, healthy habits to help me continue to progress on what I started. So that's just a personal example. That's what the heck? That's how I come up with my theme. It's a mix of life circumstances and my dreams. Okay, 2, what are your intention statements for the year? So we found out what's happening in the year. We determined a theme. Next, we need to know what our intentions are. And how do you write that? You pull it from what matters to you and you make goals out of that. So by intention statements, I just mean goals. So like, what do you intend on pursuing next year? What is a goal for you? It can be as simple as you want it to be or as complex as you feel you need to drive you forward. But ultimately, what are your intention statements for the year? I intend to create a channel. So my goal is to create 12 long form videos about whatever and 24 short form videos about whatever. There's your intention statements and your goal. Okay. Third most important point I have here is atomic habits. You've defined what's happening. You've defined what matters to you, what your theme of the year is, and then that allowed you to come up with your intention statements and your goals. So now, how do we achieve those goals? How do we turn those intentions into reality? Atomic Habits, that's where it comes in. And yes, Atomic Habits is a book. Highly recommend you read this if you are feeling stuck or unmotivated. It helps you to understand how to improve every day and build small 1% improvements that stack to build lasting change that compounds over time. By taking like 5 minutes even less of your day to intentionally practice these small healthy habits, at the end of the year, think how much time in total you will have spent on this one thing to progress towards your goal. So going back to the first example that I gave you, if you want to create content and your goal is to create 12 long form videos, what is a tiny habit that you can build into your day to contribute towards that goal? Is it waking up earlier so that you can brainstorm content ideas? So waking up 30 minutes earlier, setting blocking time aside so that you can have dedicated time to thinking about content or recording. Is it setting one day up or a portion of your weekend time up so that you can continually record content on that day? Is dedicating a day for content recording the habit that you need to instill? That's just an example. Y'all, I know I say this often. It's about the systems. The systems and the consistency of those systems is what's going to build your business. It's what's going to help you achieve your goals. It's what's going to grow you personally, professionally, in ways that staying complacent wouldn't. And as I've gotten older, I've become less of a type A person, I found, and have been more type B, letting things flow as they flow, accepting and kind of going with the flow, okay? And to set systems, sometimes you just have to flip on the type A switch and rewire your mind to get back into that mindset of planning the best you can. and accepting what doesn't go the way that you intended for it to go, and being okay with that. Because at the end of the day, it's not fully under your control. And that's okay, because that's what life is about. God has a plan for you. God has a plan for me. God has a different plan for everyone. And some trials and paths are harder than others, but in your weakness, He is strength. And so if you're like me, I know you have these intentions set on your heart, and we can only plan our way so much. You and your heart may have many plans for yourself, your family, but ultimately the Lord determines your steps and has a plan for you. So that should give you peace. You don't have to do it all. And that's just what I have come to accept. His timing is perfect, always. And He provides for your every need. Anyways, that's just what has been spoken to me really in the past few years, really. So back to the board. Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in and hearing me out, hearing my perspective on how you can set reasonable goals for yourself and how you can progress towards your dreams. I'm really passionate about that, and I hope that this helped you or opened your mind at least. It's gonna be a great year. So many things are happening this year, and I can't wait to take you along the journey with me. I've got some really exciting updates to share with you in future videos. So I hope you will stay tuned and subscribe, like and comment, and stay connected. This is all about community here. So thanks for listening, and I hope this helped. I'm just gonna end the video now. Okay, bye.